Hey.
The ex-housekeeper, Austin Jeff.
Welcome to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss, and we got back our special guest, Andrew Cabilan.
What's going on?
Straight from the WKU championships. Been a long day, my friend.
Been a long day, and you know what? It hasn't even started yet. Today was registration.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a big week and an eventful time there.
It's already
Yep.
been an eventful experience.
Yeah, yeah. Registration was fun. Very fun.
So we're going to talk about a lot of different things coming up because it's a big week overall. This is like the first time you've missed diamonds in I don't know how long.
Since 2011.
Yeah.
2011.
So, and then before that.
Yeah, because I had to miss that one because a relative was getting married. So that's the only, I have never missed diamonds since 1992. Or 91, sorry. 91 is first one. I've never missed diamonds since 91.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
heartbreaking.
So again, like WKU is in your home country.
And wait,
Plus,
what was it like really epic that happened in 91?
91. There was a lot of epic things. For me, there was the Charlie Lee demo with Carmichael Simon and John Valera. They did a demo.
Yeah,
that was a big one for me from what I remember. Like I remember that like it was yesterday because that never happened again. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. That was a huge thing. That was something that was in all the magazines. Yeah. It was cool, man. That kicked off the show, right?
Yeah, and then Charlie Lee gave one of his rings to John Chung.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
That was a year.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that was just a little bit. But yeah, so I think it was man, there's so much going on. But like I said, like you had told me, it's in your home country, WKU champion, but also like you haven't really competed in Calgary before, have you?
No, this is since April. When I came here in May, the last time I was in here, I was like in the 80s for a vacation. Like I've never been out here. Wow. So this is a totally brand new experience for me. That's why, the opportunity came. So I decided to do it. Right. Because typically when it's last time it was in Canada was a WKC when they had it in Montreal. Right. So that was,
right.
Yeah. So that's still East Coast. And then, prior to that, it was like 2005 WKA when it was in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So
it's been
always been in the East.
Yeah. That's and it's cool. Like that was the thing for me. It was what I was telling my my students, like, there's not much there isn't these opportunities, to go to Alberta or Calgary,
Yeah.
So it was a cool thing. I have two students there. One student, Addison, went last year to Wales and really enjoyed it. So she's going back this year doing it. And then another one of my students, it's his first time doing WKU or anything like this. So, they're excited about it. Talking to Lori Stanley today, she was kind of walking through during I was doing a virtual lesson with my students, and she just talked to me for a little bit. And she had said they look like, she just said just the forms numbers are crazy. Like, over 750 competitors just doing forms. And so that would be, and again, think, some of you guys think, all right, but then there's probably 750 doing fighting. Or we also got to remember there's point fighting, there's continuous fighting.
There's ring sports.
Ring sports too.
Ring sports.
That's I think the big difference maker between WKU and some of the other world sanctioning bodies is that they also have ring sports.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they have traditional kumite.
And that's
so there's a lot going on, man. Like it's busy. Very busy.
Definitely.
The thing is, this is the first time I've been on this team since 2011. Back when it was WKA.
Wow.
I actually don't know too many people on my team, right? I actually know more people on Team USA because it's basically a NASCA team, right? And then people from Italy and Mexico, because Luis is here. He brought in some people, and then there's some people in there from NBL that I recognize. So yeah. It's gonna be good. Mike Tobin's here for Team USA, so he's gonna be in my division. So like I said, it's like NBL in terms of who I'm competing against. So it's gonna be great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool that he's competing. I never know if he still is or not. He always says, "Oh, this is my last one. This is my last one."
Nah, he won last year, so he's the defending champion in a veteran traditional. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah, it's cool to see those guys that are really enjoying it. The USA coach is Anthony Price, and I think is Terry there?
I haven't seen him, but apparently he is here.
Okay, all right,
yeah. Cool. But like I like the Team USA. I recognize everybody. They're all like Christos from Team AKA is here. Brian Kulafung is here. Yeah. So
I know that. Martin Amba, is he there with his team?
Yeah, I had breakfast with him this morning.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah,
so
it's really cool, man. It's really cool to see. This competition starts Wednesday, I believe. Tomorrow is the opening ceremonies.
Tomorrow's opening ceremonies at 6 p.m. at the Seven Chiefs Center, just about 12 minutes away from here, driving. And then the competition starts at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Eliminations are Wednesday and Thursday. Medal rounds are Friday and Saturday. So yeah, busy week.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So while we're already on that, we're just going to go that. Then we're going to go into Bristol, and then we're probably going to go into Diamonds because, again, yes, you were over there and you're pumped up for WKU. You're into this just like we are as well, and you're excited to see what comes out of Diamonds as well. So
yeah, you know what? It's just heartbreaking. I can't go to Diamonds. Like I said, I haven't missed it since 2011, and even in my off years, I do make it to Diamonds. So yeah, it's just unfortunate, but yeah, stuff happens.
Of course. So what division are you looking forward to? What that maybe makes your WKU experience different than what you normally do?
Well,
probably his own.
I'm doing every age bracket. So I'm doing 18, 35, and 45 for both classical and the hard soft forms. Yeah, it's busy. It's very busy. And I think I'm the only guy doing that too. So,
and you said you're doing soft too?
Sorry?
Did you say you're doing soft forms as well?
Oh no, I'm just doing all traditional and classical for all three age groups. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
So how many divisions total are you doing?
Six.
That's a lot.
6 total.
And that'll all be done. Yeah, that'll all be done in one day. So like forms qualifying is in one day, right? That's on Thursday.
I haven't even seen the schedule yet, to be honest with you. So I don't know yet.
That's how it is. It may be different for adults, but I know for the juniors, it's all their fighting is one day, and then the other is, all their forms is the other. Unless you do continuous, I think continuous is the same day as as your forms.
And from what I understand,
isn't that kind of how it happens, though? Isn't that kind of how it happens, though? When you're at the tournament, sometimes you don't get as much access to the information.
No, I know nothing right now.
We spend time doing this. When you're there, when you're at the event, you're in the moment with whatever you're visualizing and experiencing. And so which is good. We stay in the moment. But then look, you get Jeff behind the scenes telling you when you're going.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think they changed up the format from the last time I competed in this, because apparently in the medal rounds, I believe it's only top two that go into the finals. So if you got third and fourth, it's bronze. You don't move on to the next round.
Oh, for forms?
You still have to show up to the medal ceremony though. But like it's before, when I did Germany in 2011, they took the top 4, and then that's when they did the medals. So
that must be brand new, because last year it was top 4 as well.
Really? So, okay.
Yeah, I knew that they changed.
I think that's the right thing to do. Is to do the top 4 and then run it again. I think that seems like the truest, fairest way to do it.
Absolutely.
Joe, let us know if that's something that's correct as well. If just so that way it's 2 people saying it.
If
Joe's
if Joe's out there listening, is there a schedule for the actual events? I'd like to have a hard copy for myself, to be honest with you. So if you have a link, just let me know, because I want to see it too.
This is about as insider as you get right now.
That's right. So for you, so what is, let's just see, compared to let's say the Canadian team to WKC and WKU, what's the big difference of that? So because people just think, oh, well, Canada has a world team. It's going to be the same one for Waco, WKC, WKU.
Oh, it's not the same. I will say right now, I do not know anybody on my team except for Ryan Shields. So I'm just getting the impression that most of the team are Albertans, because the only Ontario people here are me and Ryan Shields. Oh, and Nathan Scoofus is here too. I just saw him this afternoon. So there's three of us from Ontario. And
I think there's some like people that are normally representing the Canadian team that are actually representing the United States team this year.
Right? I think Ben Stewart's at Team USA this year.
Yeah. So Ben,
really?
Yeah.
Well, because he lives.
That?
He has a Florida.
Because he lives in Florida.
Right. He did make that move.
I haven't seen him yet either.
It just feel wrong. It just feels wrong. Ben Stewart representing anything other than Canada. I mean, Ben Stewart was like, I moved to Australia a decade ago.
That's different, and I don't know if he's listening or not. Ulysses is representing Mexico and Honduras, so he's representing two countries. Ulysses,
he's done that
Ulysses,
he's done that the past couple.
And
he
lives in New York.
Yeah,
this guy.
I know. That was like my friend Mauricio Padilla. We went to WK together in Austria. He's from New Orleans. He was from Dana Ray Benoit's school, right? Yep. And he went with me. Both of us were underage, right? And like 16, 17. He made the U.S. team. No one checked that he actually wasn't. He was just a naturalized citizen. He wasn't he was actually from Bolivia, all right? And was brought over. He was like an infant. So he got there, and it was a big to-do that he wasn't really, and he didn't know. And so he has all of his USA gear, and they're like, well, you can represent your home country of Bolivia. And he's just like, all right. And he went, and he was pissed, but he went and whooped everyone's butt and won the gold. So because he kind of felt like the coaching staff were kind of rude to him about it, right? And they were mad at other people about it. And, he's just a kid. It's like, dude, like, like that wasn't necessary. They want to blame everyone else. Really, it's your fault as the head of, the team and the registration staff for not taking care of that.
The sanctioning body of that country. Like, you're the one who's supposed to take care of those checks.
Was it WKA?
It was WKA. Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, I think all that is getting, time. Hopefully everyone learns from this kind of
Here's
stuff.
the thing, I guess this I'm online. So some people have messaged me and go, why did you choose WKU over WKC? And I go, there's no reason really, right? The only reason right now is because, like I said, I've never been to Calgary before. I'm not picking sides. You have to understand that I support everybody. So I know there's people out there that, I'm WKU now, not WKC. That's wrong. Remember, 2011, I did both WKA and WKC in the same year and won gold medals in both. So, for those people starting rumors, I'm not supporting a single league. I'm supporting both. WKC, if things go well, if things work out for me, I will do it next year. Yeah. So I think that's a weird thing. Like to me, I never understood that whole thing, right? So I asked other people, I was like, well, don't you want to wouldn't it be cool to go, especially if say it's in your home country or it's close to where you are. Oh, well, I'm so close to WKU. They're like a family to me. I'm not going to go anywhere else. I don't see it like that. Me as a competitor, I'm trying to win everything. I'm trying to go. That's my mindset, man.
Yeah. It's like, hey, what is something that I haven't done yet in my career? That was why I went and qualified for WKC. Doesn't mean I don't like WKU or whatever else. It just didn't work out. And then now it didn't work out for me to go to WKC at the last second, wasn't able for me to do diamonds and then a whole nother week off. And then I also did the century thing 2 weeks ago for a whole week off. It's just too much. Right. So hopefully next year I'll be able to do one of them, Right. But I don't see it as, you know, and I always got that as well with people who are NBL or NASCA.
That's
like,
the thing I was going in the mid 2000s. Oh, you're doing NBL now. You're doing NASCAR. No, I'm doing both. Right. I never supported one league over the other. I never did.
Right. It's like saying in tennis,
did both leagues.
Right. It's like, oh, I'm only going to go to Wimbledon this year and support them. No, you're going to try to win all the Grand Slams, right? Like that's really the way.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to win all the world titles, you know. So it's interesting how.
Well, here's the other thing to think about it.
Tribalism, right? It's just in our culture right now.
Right.
Go
well,
ahead.
Another way to think of it is from a competitor standpoint. Listen, I know in professional sports, like true professional sports, this is definitely a reality, but it's not that different from us. I think our longevity masks that a little bit. But you don't know when your last event's going to be. You don't know what life is going to bring your way.
Exactly.
You don't know if that tournament or sanctioning body will still be around. Look at the thing we've seen there, and then they're gone. Andrew, you were talking about Charlie Lee. His tournament, Charlie Lee Nationals, the World Series of Martial Arts, was one of my favorite events.
Yeah,
and then one day he was just like, you know what?
Last one.
Yeah, and he just went, you know what? Think I'm done.
Yeah.
And it was just it. And it was a massive event. It was just like, I think I'm done. So if you were like a guy who were like, you know what? I didn't bring my A game, but it's all right. I'll have it next year. No, how do you know?
No, you won't have that. You know what? I'm at the age, right? Because I'm 48. I don't know if I can do this again. Right. And I always look, especially now, I go into tournaments. I treat it like it's my last. I forgot what tournament it was. Vince Little. I was just talking to him. He's always happy to see me. I go, why are you so happy? He goes, because I don't know if this is going to be the last time I'm going to see you. It's kind of sad because, I see where he's coming from. I'm at that age where I could drop off the face of the earth. Like, not really, there's going to be times that, like next year, for example, I'm not going to be competing as much. I'll be doing locals, but like traveling, I'm not going to be doing as much because it's my transition year because I'm going to go into 50 the following year, right? So I don't want to just do another year in the same category, but you know what I mean? But you don't know, I don't even know if I'm doing 50 for sure in 2025 because I don't know what what condition I'll be and whatnot. There's all these factors. We're not 19 anymore, so we don't know what could happen to our bodies in a year. That transition to even like 35 years old, your body changes, right?
Yeah.
That's why that's why the divisions are set up 18 to 34, 35, and then 45. There's a reason for that. Your body changes at 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm always looking at the fact that I try to maximize how many divisions I'm doing. So like I said, I'm doing 18, 35, and 45, right? And that's why I didn't choose WKC this year because they added the 48 division, but because of my birthday, I can't compete in 48. So I'll wait till next year so I can do 18, 35, 42, and 48. So I'll do 4 categories next year for WKC. That's why I'm holding it out. I'm maximizing my opportunity. And I want people to see that before they start, saying stuff, oh, you're choosing WKU over WKC. No, I'm maximizing my opportunity, right?
Exactly. So, I love it. Yeah, Andrew, I mean, you and I talk about this a lot. Actually, at Capital Classics, Eric Tremblay and I talked about this. We just got, how long do you think you're going to do this? How long do you feel like this or that, And it's just an interesting question. I mean, for me, I don't know. I love it. And I kind of feel like I kind of have like a second breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? Because I went through a weird transition where I was kind of told I couldn't compete anymore as I had to kind of be a promoter for a while, right? So that kind of gave me a little bit, even though I still competed, but like not at that same mindset of getting this every time. So it's a little bit different.
So with that being said, though, let's really put a little context as to what we're saying. So we're saying, guys, do we really just sound like the old guys talking about karate?
We are the old guys.
That's kind of what this sounds like right now. But let's put this into a little bit of context. We're not saying that when you get to 35 or when you get to 40 or you get to 45 or 50, like your time is up. We're just saying the amount of years and miles that we have on our bodies, because what do we see in martial arts schools all the time? We see someone who, let's say someone who's my age, right? I'm 42, and they'll bring their kids to class, and then what happens after that, Jeff? It's possible in a year they start taking class. So now that person who's 45 really only has 3 years into the game. That's perfect, right? That's a second win. That's second life, right? So sometimes the downside is you get this person who's 45 and they come in and they've got years of learning their forms and kata under their belt, and then they go compete against Andrew Cabilan.
Right.
Who has 317 years under his belt. But that's also the fun part. Think about that, right? Because we would look at it so much sometimes like guys who really only have like 3 years into their game, 5 years into their training experience. And they go, man, I wish I would have started when I was this. I wish I would have started when I was this. But an 11-year-old does not have an opportunity to compete against a legend. They do not, right? They do not have an opportunity to compete against an icon, right? It's possible that you could be like, oh yeah, remember when I competed against so-and-so? Now look at him. No, there was a time I had a student who was a relatively rookie black belt, fought Nasty Anderson.
Oh wow.
But that was just kind of the way it was, It was the 40 to 49.
But at least you can say that you fought Nasty Anderson, right? Even though you're
exactly
right.
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
That's
like
cool.
I mean, I look at my resume and see who I've competed against in the last 35 years. I think I've done okay. I've competed against Mike Bernardo, but then I've competed against the generations after that as well, right? I've competed against Gabe Brunaga. I've competed against Kevin Thompson, but I'm also competing against the new guys, right? So there's a lot of people that I've competed against. That's why when you look at my who I've competed against, I think that's more impressive than what I've accomplished for the most part. I've lost to great people, right? So awesome. For example, when I did open forms, I competed against Carmichael and John Valera, right?
Yep.
Who in today's generation can say they have done that?
I mean, even people that people forget that even was really big was like a Larry Lamb. People think Leonardo, or Turtles, But it's like
remember my first adult win was against him, so
was over him. I know it at Denver.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wait a minute, time out. Can we I think Andrew, you are the only person. You might be the only person today who can say I competed against John Valera and Carmichael Simon, who is competing today.
Yeah, I'm from that generation. And I'm the last one.
Yeah, because I never competed against John. I competed against Carmichael, never John. So yeah.
I never did.
Because
pretty cool.
My first year as a black belt was Carmichael's last year as a junior. So and I went against him like 3 or 4 or 5 times in the finals, right?
Well, I'm competing in multiple generations, right? So I competed against Jarrett, but I'm also competing against Mason now, right? That's 2 generations.
That's cool. Right? Yeah.
And those are my teammates.
Yeah, I mean that's something like that. My instructor and I say it's like like for us to be able to even in the South compete against Corky Sykes and his son, right?
Yeah,
like things like that. We get to compete against them and their son, or their daughter or whoever it is. Like it's really cool. Yeah. So, Andrew, one more thing about WKU. And then we're gonna talk about Bristol, and then we're gonna get into diamond stuff. Yeah. So,
let's do it.
What is the biggest difference maybe in the rules as far as maybe from what you normally do in NASCA or maybe from WKC? What?
So starting off with WKU and NASCA, the rules are very different because NASCA is very open, right? So for example, the rules here are pretty structured. You do need to use a real weapon for traditional. It can't be like a plastic weapon. It can't be a tapered bow, right?
Yeah,
so that's big. They do have the Ki rules for the traditional forms. So there's that. WKU and WKC pretty much have the same rules.
Yeah, for forms.
I can't speak for the fighting because I don't know. But for forms, the rules are pretty much the same because they have the no lyrics and music, stuff like that. Right. So they have the same rules.
And they have a classical division, right?
Yeah, it's just called traditional karate. It's not classical. It's called traditional karate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they do have the hard style. They have the hard style division as well.
Yeah, but they changed the rules. There's a maximum of 4 ki limit apparently. They changed it for this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and that includes weapons. I don't know how people actually know that. I looked at the rules first, so I made sure.
That's interesting. Awesome. Cool, man. Cool. Well, we last year the talk of the sport karate, kickboxing / point karate scene was the Bristol Open, and this year they did not fail. They had another banger. And
you know what? So the Bristol Open, I completely forgot it happened. The only reason why I remember it happened is because my friend Kristen McCord sent me the link to watch it, and I caught the tail end of it. And you know what? I didn't realize they were giving out 5,000 pounds. Yeah, that's 10,000 Canadian. That's a lot of money, man.
Okay, so that's what it was. All right, 5,000 pounds. That's why
pounds, not dollars, pounds.
Okay. So they gave 5,000 for men, 5,000 for women.
Correct.
And so that's awesome. Okay, that's cool. So all right. So and the winners for that, guys, were Bailey Murphy and Evelyn Ames. All right. So Evelyn, 2 years in a row, winning the Bristol Open, representing Team Century over there. And, she lives in England now. But again, she is stamped herself as one of the best European, not just Europe, but overall women's fighter of all time, right?
Yep.
So then we have Bailey Murphy winning his first WKU open weight title in Europe. So
and it's quite convincing. Did you see the score?
Yeah.
It was very convincing.
And and he had a good road ahead of him. Like in the semis, he defeated Ricardo Albanese, who has been on a tear of winning open weights since last year at Bristol Open. So it was a huge win for him. Congrats to both of those guys. I
think people are just disappointed because people wanted to see the Bailey versus Elijah match, right?
Of course.
So, that was for me. Yeah, I was hoping Elijah would pull out in his semi, but things happen, right?
Well, yeah, and then another thing we have to talk about as well, but we'll talk about Elijah at the end too. But this was a really cool, there was about 6 to 8, I believe, Americans or North Americans there. I know that Lily was there.
Tyson.
What was that?
Tyreek and Tyson were there.
Tyreek was there.
Kevin Walker.
Yep. I don't think Kevin was there.
Yeah, he was.
No.
He was in the divisional. No, Kevin Walker was there. I saw it on I don't know if he did the 5,000 but he was listed in the divisions. I don't know if he actually went though.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He was listed. He registered.
Okay, so I know Devin was there and he won his division.
Yeah, Devin Hopper was there.
Yep. And we had.
But he lost the open weight challenge to Bailey, didn't he? I missed that one.
Yeah, he lost it in that. Yep. I don't know how Bailey did in his divisions the next day.
I didn't see the divisions.
Yeah, I know that Tyreek and Devin got second in the tag team. They lost to Ricardo, and I don't remember who his partner was. If someone can help me, you can put that in there. Evelyn, did she beat Cece, or I don't remember who it was. I saw the fight of her and Jody.
In the final?
Yeah. I don't remember.
In the final, it was the other Century girl, the one that beat the Francesca. I forgot her name though.
Okay, so it was Jody Brown.
Yeah, Jody Brown won. Jody Brown was in the final.
Okay, so that was
Jody Brown is legit. Jody Brown is legit. She's
she's good, man.
Good. I think she's very underrated.
Her match with Francesca was a nail biter, man. Like it was like back and forth, overtime. It was great.
Yeah, and
she's really got that gritty style of fighting too, as well.
She does.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you essentially she's got an Irish style,
Yeah,
that's essentially what it is.
Right.
There were a few Canadians there. Actually, there were only 2 Canadians in the women's. Elise Gorel was there. She lost to Evelyn, and then Savannah Woloniak was also there from Team United.
I gotta go back and watch that. Elise Gorel did fight Evelyn.
Elise Gorel was there, but she lost to
Okay.
Evelyn. I forgot which round it was, and then Savannah Wolonik was also there, but I don't know how she did.
Right. Okay. Awesome. And then, you know, I know notables, at least on the European side, Ricardo came back and won his division the next day.
Yep. And so did Francesca.
Yeah, Francesca CC won her division the next day. So, you know, big, just overall amazing tournament. But I think it's just a great coming out party for Bailey. You know, like
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. You know, I would say it was good that you know he fought Demetrios at AmeriKick this year.
Yeah, it was a nice rematch, different outcome. Yeah. I mean, it was a blowout. So
right. So it was really, you know, you could just tell he wanted it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? This was the win that stamped that he's the best point fighter in the world. Like, I don't think there's anything that you can argue right now because he's winning everything in North America. He won this, you know, and everybody was all the top fighters in that area from Europe were there. So he's stamped. Yeah. He's so, you know, he's signed, sealed, and delivered.
He's been on a European tour. You know that he did. He won his division.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah, he lost to Enrique at Flanders in the open weight.
Yeah.
He won, I believe, at the Czech Open. So he's been on like a European tour, doing 3 or 4 weeks, and then he'll be.
And that's helped him because the rules there are different, right? So he has to adjust and adapt accordingly when he goes down there. So the more tournaments that fighters do in Europe, the better they'll be able to fight using that style, right? So
right. That's awesome. Yeah, all right. One other thing that happened was that Elijah announced his retirement from point sparring. Okay. And he said that he is going to focus right now and on his full contact career. Right. Which I get. I was kind of surprised that he even fought. I'm going to be honest with you. I know it's in his home country, but when you have a contract with, Karate Combat, or it seems like, all right, stay focused on that. Right.
Yeah.
But I think it was cool for him to end it there. Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
Now does that mean
always great to end on a win, but
yeah,
what do you think
I think it'd be better with a better ending, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but you know what? You're supposed to go out. You're supposed to go out. Well, yeah, but that doesn't always happen.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, so if you take this year out of it, and you're looking at Elijah Everell over the last, 4, 5,
6 years, yeah,
he's still the best
he's
fighter.
A top dog. Yeah,
right.
When he won,
Exactly.
He won the Irish Open weight, and the last time it happened, right? So he's made his mark. I think he's made his mark
in extremely dramatic fashion too.
Yeah.
So if you really look at this, I think it's the right move because of what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously for us, we have mixed feelings because don't you want to see the guy fight some more? And
yeah, but
I'd like to see another Bailey Elijah. I mean, I think everybody would.
Yeah.
I think everybody would keep up. Even
guys, only like 23, 24, 25. He's not old, you know what I mean? So
we're not saying he is though.
No.
This is what I'm saying though. Like he could do 10 years of full contact and then come back to point karate. He literally
fight a senior though?
And still no, he wouldn't fight a senior. He would fight as Elijah Everell, the best, and he would come back.
Once you're that, that's the thing, is once you're a guy like that, you can't go back. The only person I've ever seen do that was Jason Borelli. Right? But he would just be like, you know what? I think I'm going to fight 30 today. You know what? In 2 weeks, I think I'm going to fight with the kids and I'm going to win the entire thing. You're like, who are you? Right? Are you a bionic man? But when I was saying, mixed feelings about that, because, we'd all want to see him fight a lot more. Just selfishly, right? You want to see a guy with that talent fight more. But if he has made the decision, like, I want to make fighting professionally what I do, then I think the time that he made the decision to go pro was the right time. Yeah.
Right.
Jeff, you want to do something about this guy who's dropping his numbers? He's trying to slide into DMs.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Wait, what's he doing?
I have no idea. Some guy's trying to get someone else to slide into his DMs. I don't know what this is.
What, in the chat?
Yeah,
think
in the
so.
comments.
I'm
you
not
know?
seeing the chat, so
Kumar is blocked. But anyway, but if you think about it, right? He's how old did you say? 20, 23, 24? Maybe let's even go up to 25. Let's say he's there. All right. I think this is the time. If he stretches it out another 6 years, he's gonna end up looking back at it like, what if? Because he's made the decision he wanted to do this. Look at Ross Levine. Ross Levine, if he wanted to fight professionally and that was going to be his career, he should have done that 7 years before he did. But that's not what he wants to do. He's an amazing professional. And then, oh, by the way, I also want to be a, full contact professional fighter on the weekends, So we all got weekend gigs. It just so happens that yours is lethal.
And you know what? I mean, I'm sure that Raymond had a long talk with Elijah about it. It's like, hey, listen, you know what? The one thing I know is I wish I would have started this a little earlier, and I think that's kind of the same thing, right? But again, we're talking about right now, he's starting this at such a younger age compared to everyone else that we know that is in karate combat, right? This, for a lot of them, this is kind of their last thing, right? For Elijah, this could be his first thing. This is a whole different thing. This could lead to something else. This could lead to maybe glory. This could lead to K1. This could lead to, maybe if he wants to go down to the MMA road, who knows, So
I don't think
really
it's out of the realm of possibility. Here's what I'll say. I did not, watching him point fight, I would have never thought, Michael Page is going to be a full contact MMA champion, right? At the highest level. I'm like, get the heck out of here. Right? No way. Watching him point fight, and he was very, very good, right? His country's best. I just looked at him like, you're just trying to be like Ray, right? That's it. Like, come on, man. But you're not gonna do it. And then he went and he's an even better MMA fighter. Like, I didn't see that coming, right?
Right.
So, I mean, maybe he could do the same thing, And
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
So,
sad to see him go. Excited to see what he'll do. Exactly. Congrats to Elijah Everell. We will definitely be following each and every step that he takes.
Right. Congrats to Bailey Murphy. Congrats to Evelyn Ains. Congrats to all the winners there. And also congrats to the promoters of Bristol Open on another big one. So it looked like, again, continuing to grow. And what's funny is that a few years ago, it was a top level event, but it wasn't one of the big pro events. And now it's become
people used to skip diamonds for that event. People knew the fighting was there. People used to skip diamonds to go to Bristol. Remember that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I do remember that. And I remember and here's the thing, Andrew, I remember not understanding. I mean, like, why would I? Said, let's skip diamonds for this. Really?
Yeah.
You go there?
The thing is, I think Bristol's getting a little bit more momentum now because Irish Open isn't happening, or is it? Like, I don't think it's happening for 2024, or is it? I don't know. Last time I heard it wasn't.
I mean, at this point, logistically it would be hard to pull off, but if they just decided we're going to do it, I mean, they'll have the people, they'll have the registrations. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just, they'll just sign up. Just be like, here's my credit card. Just tell me whenever your next one is, I'm there. I'm sure they would do that. But I mean, what do we got for the top events in Europe right now? Because I think Austrian Classic is done, right?
Yeah. Austin is done. So
we got Point
I know the
Cup.
Hungarian Point Fighter Cup. I think the Italian one is pretty big. Was it there's Point Fighting Cup,
that's
and then
Point
there's
Fighter
Point Fighter Cup. Okay, well then there's
Best Fighter.
Then there's
Best Fighter,
Best Fighter, and then there's let's see. I mean, Dutch Open seems like it's growing.
Dutch Open.
Yeah.
Athens Challenge.
Athens.
But I think right now, and those are all great. I think Athens Challenge is really good because of when in the year it goes.
When does that happen?
It happens pretty early in the year. I think it's
okay.
It's typically like the weekend before we are at AKA. So,
okay.
Oh, okay. So January. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's around there.
Right.
But I mean, right now,
Yeah.
I think it's been Bristol.
Yeah.
Bristol,
Well, and
Bristol looks like it's on top right now over there because again, I think it's just filling the void that Irish Open, since Irish Open's not around, that's the tournament that people go to fight, and people know that, right?
right.
And I think
And the other thing is,
now that they're giving out that kind of money, I think more people will gravitate towards that, right?
yeah.
Because right
The
now
other-
only a select few people actually know about it. I mean, how many Americans went? Not many, right? But everybody went to the Irish Open. Same thing with Canadians, right? There were only 2 or 3 Canadians there on the men's side, but I mean, there'd be more Canadians at the Irish Open, right? You know, if for Bristol Open, I'm not. I don't think Mike Macri was there, but that's a tournament that I'd like to see him at, right?
Yeah. 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 I mean,
Elizabeth,
and this
Elizabeth Ruard's brother, I noticed was in there. So, like I said, it's growing. People know about it. They just need to make sure they wind up going.
Yeah, I think this year's different too because you have WKU Worlds for adults as well happening.
Yeah.
And you also have World Combat Games. So it's a crazy busy year. And then you also had the European Games and like the European Olympics, right? So
yeah, and you know what? WKF World Championship for Seniors is also next week.
Yes.
So there's
so much. There's so much
going on
right
now. So much.
We have WKU. We have WKC next week. We have Diamonds. I mean, it's just there's something every week.
There's a lot of karate in the next 2 weeks. A lot.
Yep. So that's kind of why to me, like, this is Golden Week, right? This is
even
next
even in WKC. So in WKC ends, there's a tournament in the same venue.
Yes.
It's a USA Sport Karate in the same venue right after WKC ends. Right. So there's
just
like
leave the mats down, guys. We'll pick them up.
Florida's not playing around when it comes to tournaments. They're doing so much right now. So
correct.
And when that happens, we all win.
Yeah.
If for tournament, and this is the only thing that has me concerned about, like, I don't know, is Europe, are they going to continue to build up their tournaments? Because when the Irish Open isn't happening, and then now Austrian Classic is just done, like, you're number one and number two, they're done. Like, you got to bite your nails a little bit, know, and that somehow Bristol Open goes from like the number 4 or 5 event to number 1. Like, how does that happen?
Right.
So
right.
But I think when more karate produces more karate, right? And I say that in the sense that, you might not have 3,000 competitors at your event, right? However, the more times that eyeballs are seeing karate, the more times that we're all involved, the more opportunities we're going to have for high-level martial arts competition, because we're going to breed more martial artists. If there's only really 4 opportunities for competition a year, and you're not able to make it to 2 of them, and 1 of them you weren't ready, so you're only going to be able to go to 1?
The good thing about Europe is that it's so cheap to go from one country to the other, right? That's a big advantage that they have. For me to go to Quebec Open, for example, will cost me $700 for the flight, and that's an hour flight. Over there, it's like, what, 50 euros to go from one country to the other? Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute. Time out. What did you just say?
Okay, so Quebec Open. Hold on. Quebec Open is an hour away by plane. It cost me like $700, $800 to fly there.
That's madness.
Yeah.
It's cheaper for you to go to LA.
Crazy. It's cheaper for me to go to LA. LA cost me for $600 from Toronto LAX.
Well,
it's that much. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Quebec's its own country, so
Yeah, and Quebec's in my own country.
No, Quebec is its own country. So.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it is a different experience. Absolutely.
It is. All right. So let's finish up with one of our biggest, most historical events that is happening this year. Alex's hometown really event, even though he doesn't live there anymore, but still, like, what the
Are you going, Alex?
Yes.
I'm going.
You gonna go, Alex?
Yeah. Okay. So he will be there. I'm getting in Thursday. I'm already booked up, private lesson wise. I am excited about.
Are you fully booked on Thursday, Jeff?
I'm fully booked. Yep, I'm already booked.
Dang it,
So
man! I thought we were gonna get to hang.
We are. We're still gonna get to hang.
Okay. All right, cool. Go. I just want to
I'm booked for my lessons that, like I said, I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do any more than that. So that way, again, like you had said, you know.
Okay.
Like no, we're good. But yeah, so I'm excited. I get there Thursday. You know, Diamond Nationals is one of my favorite events. In a lot of ways, probably I would put it as one of my number ones. I really love Battle because that's what I grew up on. You know, Battle and Bluegrass were the tournaments. I mean, then, you know, for me too, like, you know, it doesn't exist anymore, but I really love Super Grands, even though it was a long week and but it was just something about like preparing all year long to go to something, right? And then just being there and being a part of it. And then
all right.
Battling on stage, right? But Diamonds. So what do we think? What do we think? What are we most excited about for Diamonds?
Well,
Alex,
I'm not going to be there, so I'm not too excited. You know what? I just want to see who's gonna establish a legacy into the Diamonds Hall of Fame, basically, because again, it's the only NASCAR tournament that has the record of champions listed. Right? If you go on the website, they have all the winners from when it started until the present time. No other tournament has that. So when you win, you are permanently engraved into the Diamond Nationals Hall of Fame, right? So, or whatever you call that, but whatever it is,
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Like I said, no other tournaments have it. So that is a big deal. And you know, there's a lot of.
If you remember the latter parts of the later episodes of CTE, Travis kept chiming in like, hey, where's Avery's name on the website? You guys got to update the website. Where's Avery's name? I want to see my cousin's name.
Oh, it hasn't
exactly
been updated?
What you're saying, like,
no, that was before.
I think
because
it was
okay.
The pandemic and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, if you want to find out who won a diamond ring in, let's say, 1988 men's forms, it's there. You know, it says Kevin Thompson. You know, like at least you know that. You can't go, for example, you know, who won, you know, random tournament, Ocean State 2001. I don't know because it's not listed.
Yeah, it used to be. It used to be something like Ocean State used to have in their flyer. Capital Classic.
DC had it for the longest time when they had the big paper flyer. Yeah, it was all on there.
Always on there. Yep.
Always on there, but it's not there anymore.
New England Open had that too.
Yeah, New England Open as well. Yep. So I mean, it was always cool to see that.
Yeah, you're just looking at a piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah, but at least it's there. But I mean, like I said, it's at least Diamond Nationals at least has a record of who's won what, Hall of Fame, the Ken Eubanks Award, like all that stuff. It's on there, right? So that's a good thing.
For me, I see, you know, it's like, listen, I think that there's going to be some upsets because there always is something like that. But one thing I can bet on is that I feel like Haley Glass is going to win a diamond, right? So
I think she's going to win. I think she's going to win. She'll win. Yeah. If she doesn't drop, she'll win weapons. For forms, it depends. I got to see the traditional panel first. It's going to be really weird because with the women's ring, they mix the trad and the open, right? So you'll never, depending on what panel you get for the judges, that determines who the winner is.
And this will be the last year that's the thing.
And the diamond is a funny one like that.
Yeah, next year they're going to have they are separating women's traditional
forms
open
and weapons.
For
just all the tournaments, right?
Yeah, just like So no, for all the tournaments. Yeah.
Okay, good. About time.
Yeah. So that's what's happening next year. So again, honestly, I don't see a way with her not to break the record for overall diamonds. Like seriously, like if she sticks with it another
how many she have?
4 years. I think she already has 4. And this is only her this will be her 3rd year as an adult. So, you know.
And the record, who has the record? Is it Nikki Carlson has the most diamond rings?
Most in one division, but it's Caitlin Deschelle.
Yeah. Caitlin Deschelle.
How many does she have?
Caitlin Deschelle is the most. I believe Caitlin has 9.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Caitlin has 9. Yeah, I believe Caitlin has 9.
Yeah.
If I were to dig through and find out that she has 10, it wouldn't surprise me. But
and Nikki has the most in a
listen,
row.
as long as we're mentioning this topic, Jeff and I have said this the last couple of years. It does bother me that it's split so many times for the ring. It does bother me. If there's a grand championship, like I'm the traditional forms grand winner and I'm the CMX grands winner, like I'm not a super fan of that, but I would get it. But for the diamond, I don't think
it should be an overall. It should be like the Warrior Cup.
Well, that's why I think the Warrior Cup has gone to that next level.
Yeah.
Where it didn't used to be as I mean, it was always prestigious in certain areas, but now it's more prestigious nationally and internationally than
because
ever before.
They crown a true overall, right? Male and female. It's like separate in the same
You have to do your form twice.
You have to do
you do your form in the grands. You got to do it more than once because you'll win your junior
Factor this in too. Warrior Cup allows the senior winner to be in the Warrior Cup final. That's a big deal.
Yes.
Because diamonds, they just give you a separate ring, and they don't even put you on stage anymore.
Last year was the first year. Yeah, they stopped doing that. So
it is aggravating because when you go back, because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back in time. Okay, we're gonna go back in time, and I had this explained to me from John Worley and Larry Carnahan when they started this tournament. And Jeff, remember when we had John Worley on when he talked about this? Andrew, do you know what he called? Do you know what they called the tournament when it first started?
What?
It was the craziest thing in the world. They called it the everything you'd ever want to know about martial arts, but we're too afraid to ask a karate guy. That's what they called the tournament. That was the name of the tournament. And then they were like, okay, well, now that people actually showed up and they're coming, we can't continue to call it this. So we're Mid-America Karate. That's what they were called at the time. Yeah. So let's call it the Mid-America Nationals. And it was the Mid-America Nationals for pretty much the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And then but from the start, Larry Carnahan, he is a pioneer for a lot of things, and you got to give him credit for this. He said, you know what? I want people to show up for something because there is the Battle of Atlanta. That exists. There is the U.S. Open. That exists. And I think at that time, like the Long Beach International, I think that was still like a thing. So he's like, I want there to be a reason why people, the top competitors of the top, want to come to get this thing. Oh, well, in 1978, you give someone a diamond, all right? It's a pretty damn cool thing, all right?
Right.
So it's a big deal. So he said, just here we go. There's one division, men's fighting. Come get it. Right. And that's just what it was. And you come get it. And it was Keith Vitale. There you go. You won.
Yeah.
And then,
remember there was this one weapons division for adults too. Men and women were combined. And it was
for the longest time. They didn't even start weapons till 1990.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, and then it was just forms, men and women. So, I mean, it was crazy,
the best
man.
formula for the diamonds is men's fighting, women's fighting, men's form, women's form. And now if you want to go men's weapons and women's weapons, I agree with that. I think that should be the case instead of just weapons. It was just 5 diamonds for for probably decades. It was decades. It was just 5 diamonds.
The more of an award that you give, it makes it lesser in value, in my opinion, because
have we learned nothing from inflation?
Right.
Have we learned nothing?
For example, men's forms and weapons are broken up into, CMX and traditional, and you're giving a diamond ring for each one of those. So how about those people from in the 90s where you won one diamond ring, but everybody competed against each other? Like
imagine how aggravated Steve Torada would be because he lost by 2/100ths of a point to John Su. He'd be like, well,
absolutely.
How many diamonds should I have?
Well, No. Think how many weapons diamonds should Casey Marks have, right?
She's got 0.
She's got 0.
She has 0.
0 diamonds because she's competing against men.
That's the best example.
Compete against men.
Yeah.
And if she did have one, she would be the only one to have all 3 diamonds: form, fighting, and weapons.
Yep.
So that's probably the big, if you want to look at it this way, but she doesn't look at it that way. She doesn't look at it. I remember when I talked to her before she was going to go up to compete, and I'm like, I actually mentioned this to her. I'm like, oh, Casey, I am rooting for you big time. And what she said to me, she goes, yeah, but it's not the same. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, yeah, but they split it. You know, it's not men's and women's together. She's over here thinking if she wins, she doesn't even give herself full credit. Can you believe that? That's a true champion. But I don't want to make this sound like, oh, the Diamonds should do this and the Diamonds should do that. Listen, let's talk about all the great things about the Diamonds, because it is great. It is great. And there's just something about it when you're there, right? And I think everybody kind of gets it. The top competitors of the top, they get it. There's a buzz, and we all get excited. You know, like in the springtime, I'm like, all right, we're starting, and you start thinking like, all right, what's gonna be? Could this person really do something? Do you think this team might pick this person up? By the time you're in the summer, we're into competing, right? Here we go. But by the time you get to the Diamonds, like, it's pretty much out there. Like, this is it. If you were gonna make something of yourself this year, this is your last opportunity to really make something big.
After Diamonds, no one really shows up to the tournaments afterward. The tournaments after that, right? Because traditionally, Diamonds was the second to last event, like for the longest time. So when they finish Diamonds, like that was it. That was it, and you're done for the year.
Yeah.
You know, all right, so now we got 2 tournaments after.
Andrew, since we're on, go Jeff, go.
Oh no, I'm just saying, yeah, I definitely agree, and I think in some ways the forms competitors really get this, and in some ways more than the fighters. It's just I see it now. I still see the highest.
I think I know where you're going, and I agree.
Top competitors show up at the Diamonds with that mindset that this is the time to give them something that makes, like, you want to have your Diamonds moment, right? You know, and I think that's something that's real, even if you win or lose, but it's your Diamonds moment. You know, some of the biggest Diamonds moments, unfortunately, didn't come with wins, right? Like we talk about
retirements.
Or retirements. Yeah, we talk about the Crow. We talk about the Crow. We talk about Tony Young. We talk about Pedro. We talk about all these guys that Anthony Price, all these guys that kind of end their career at Diamonds. So there's
Valera, man.
Yeah, Valera. There's so many, you know, big ones that happen. You know, what do you think? What's maybe some that you're thinking that you're looking for people to do? You know, like for me, again, all year long for weapons, it's been, you know, like the 3-headed, you know, really 4-headed with Rashad, Dawson, Esteban, and Ben, right? And that's just going to be an amazing competition. Those guys all push each other, you know. And I've talked to several of them, and they're all like ready, you know, like it's a whole another level.
I think Esteban's going to pull a double.
You think he's going to be
really
weapon CMX and form CMX?
Yeah,
that is a statement.
No, I think he will.
I mean, not that I think that you're far off. I'm just, I don't disagree of that possibility. I'm just with exactly that what Jeff just laid out. Like, look at everything that's there to say. Not only does he win that, he wins another, and you guys get
maybe
nothing.
Even traditional, but I mean, I think maybe traditional too. But I think Dawson might get that.
You never know, man. Like, traditional is really up in the air, honestly. That's the one that I think is the most up in the air. And you don't really have an idea of who's going to be there, who's going to be in every tournament. There's been different people, you know. Right. Esteban's been in there. Ben has been in there. Alec has won a couple, you know. Right. There's many, you know, some of the people who've been on stage this year aren't even going to be there. Like, you look at like Brett and his student Dominic, you know, they both were on stage at the battle beating top people. They're not going to be there. They're going to be at WKU, I believe. So
I haven't seen Brett yet.
I saw Dominic, but I don't know about, I thought Brett said he was going to be there. So,
well, he did try out for the team.
Yeah. Huh?
He did. I'm pretty sure he tried out for the team.
Yeah. He did. So, I mean, it could be anything. So it's going to be really exciting, you know, to see what's going to happen there. You know, all, with traditional, it always depends who's showing up, who's coming.
Yep.
For and really even the senior ones, right? Even the senior.
Oh, I have my prediction for senior already, and I'll say
Let's hear it.
Kevin Kowalczyk.
All right.
I don't think that's a far off prediction.
No, it's not a far off. It's gonna happen. I'm confident.
Well, let me ask. Wait a minute.
Sorry to my senior competitors, but it's his year. It's his year.
Jeff, what age are you competing?
I'm competing
18 and 30.
seniors. No, I'm competing both.
You're gonna do seniors?
Yeah, of course.
Then I'm picking Jeff Doss.
Yeah.
I'm picking Jeff Doss.
No, I'm doing all 4 CMX divisions this weekend for 30 plus.
What do you mean, like the 18 too?
No. I'm doing musical.
But they don't have CMX musical and traditional for seniors, do they? It's just it's combined.
Just one. Yep.
Oh, look at that. Look at no. Now I got a bone to pick. Wait a minute. We need to split all these things.
No, it's not. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I probably wouldn't advocate for it yet because the numbers don't support it.
Well, I don't think the numbers don't support it unfortunately on the female side. On the female side, it doesn't.
Yeah, but for the men's though, okay. For the men's though, Jeff, come on. We've been in grands where there's only 3 of us, like you, me, and Joey. Like it's happened several times already.
Well,
or
yeah,
you,
that's
me, and Sam.
Yeah, well, that's grands. Most of the time there is only 3 or 4, but I'm talking about the divisions. The number support of the divisions. I mean, there should only be 3 people in any grands, really.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's kind of crazy that there's.
But the split traditional CMX and trad, though, I don't know about that for grands.
No. I think if you split anything, it should be either weapons and forms, or it should be men and women. It should be that way. Not because the problem is that all right, you go and you do a weapons. And the way they used to do it is kind of crazy. But you would do your weapons grand, and then you go and do your forms grand, and then
go up against each other.
You'd have to go against each other and then go against the women on stage. Last year they didn't do that. They said all 4 go against each other before, and then we'll present it, right? So it's just like crazy how many runoffs you have to do to get one ring, right? So
right.
So it's really interesting on that part. But as far as with grands, I mean, it shouldn't be that many people in a grand championship. I think the numbers is what you look at is the division numbers. Are they sufficient? And in most of the case, they are. Honestly, it depends on the tournament, though. For the
AKA had the biggest one. AKA was the biggest. Yeah. Atlanta too. Sorry, Atlanta's big.
Yeah. I mean, we had a good division. So, all right, we're getting close. Yeah.
I sent us down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, you did. All right.
Okay.
You got any predictions on fighting, or something that you're excited to see?
I want to say, I think for fighting, I think Bailey will win. Will win, and then heavyweight, I'd like to see Devin.
Yeah.
For senior fighting, I'd like if El Java's going, I'd like to see El Java win the 30+ ring. For women's fighting, I'm gonna say Katrina or Lily. I'm gonna make it all Canadian.
That would be a good one. I like to see that too.
I think that is a pretty good prediction.
Right. Men's traditional depends on who's going. If Mason's going, obviously I'll pick him. But if Mason's not going, it's gonna be Joey. So so that's my prediction for men's. Weapons, I already made my prediction for that. Is there a last man standing? Is there a last man standing?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. They didn't do it last year.
They didn't do it last year, but they did it the year before.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they had a hard time making it work the year before. They only gave them 3 minutes, like one round. So
okay, that's how it works.
Yeah. So
but that's what happens if there's a good system and then you want to tweak that system and then you complain about the result. Like you didn't let the whole thing play out. So how do you know?
But in Diamond's fairness, their finals is very long. and it's already a lot anyway, you know, and it goes,
Yeah,
goes, goes. So, yeah. I mean,
I think a lot of finals just need to be shortened. They need to just get to the point. You know, I went to when I went to the league finals of the Las Vegas tournament that Tony Cattengill had under 2 hours. It was perfect. It ran so quick. And
That's
you know what?
good.
right.
Yeah, so he basically just ran the fighting divisions on stage. Everything else was a demo, you know, but it worked out. You know, he had his VIP section. It was packed the whole night. No one left. So that's a sign that in terms of length, that under 2 hours is more than enough, right? So because once you cross that 2 hour mark, people lose interest. I mean, there's tournaments that we've gone to this
at the
year.
time we're starting. Think about it. At the time we're starting at 7:30 is when really we start, but we don't actually start at 7:30. We're probably starting at 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're starting at 8, and then a realistic time is probably 3 hours for most finals, right? That puts you at 11 o'clock. And then
but here's the thing with the finals. Here's the thing with the finals, though. And, you know, I am a forums person. There's too many forums. There's too many, right? And, you know,
not grand anymore.
For me,
if everyone has a grand championship, it's not very grand.
I would like to see more fighting. It's just, I don't know what it is. Like, when it comes to forums, it's getting to the point where I'm watching the same forum every time, right? So it's getting boring for me. You know, a fight. I watch fighting. It's exciting because everything's different, right? They need to do more of that. They need to, for example, the junior fighting grants, the older group of the 16, 17, whatever. That would be nice. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. They should do something like
that.
The
reason why the diamonds might be good for that is because those guys, whoever they are, one or both of them probably going to be in the adults next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be a great preview. This is like, you know, college football playoff, you know, type of thing. You know, here we go. And one of you guys is going to play for the Titans and lose.
Like, if you shave off all the forums, grands, and like I said, a lot of them are unnecessary. Run them during the day. If they want to showcase a forum, do it as a demo, right? I mean, I think there's ones that they should show, like, you know, for example, you know, men's overall or women's overall or something like that. But like, to have every single division grand put up there, I just think is unnecessary, right? And, you know, your audience, when you'll see it, any show that's over 2 hours, people start leaving. You know, there was a tournament, you know, in August, you know, at the beginning of August, where it was close to 1 o'clock. And you know, there's nobody in the audience. You have to set your program as well as your time in such a way that you keep the people there, right? And you know, you just have to find the formula to make that happen.
All right. So last prediction.
Here's another great example as to why it's too long. If you think about it, I'll do my predictions then right after this. If you think about it, would you go to a movie? If you're a movie that you go to is 2.5 hours long, you'd be a little upset. And they pay over $100 million, right, to fine tune this thing to make it as perfect as possible. And it's a little over 2.5 hours. You're like, this thing was a waste of time, right? You might feel that way. And you got to have snacks, and you got to be comfortable and relax and be with your people. And even then, it's too long. What are we thinking about this? Okay, now my predictions. I will agree with you, and I'll say Bailey Murphy. He's probably going to win. Now, I would not be surprised with the talent that's on the lightweight side. If Tyreek Saint were to win, that wouldn't shock me. If Tyson Ray were to win, that wouldn't completely shock me. Heck, if John Curtillo, I don't know if he's going, if he were to win, something like that. There's Luis Nunez. There's so many good guys, but I'm not going to pick anybody over Bailey Murphy. I'm not going to do it. All right, it's Bailey Murphy.
Heavyweight.
On the heavyweight side, if Cam Dawson's there, I'm picking Cam Dawson. Okay. But I don't know if he is.
You know, is Avery going?
No, Avery. No.
I think it would be challenging for him to do that because WKC is
on Sunday
right there. Now,
There's people that are doing it though. There's people that are doing it.
if and he may.
Kevin Walker,
I will
I
say
think he's
this
doing
right
that.
now. I agree. So now I'm gonna put another caveat out there. All right. Let's say everyone's there. That could be. I'll pick Avery Plowden. Right. Avery Plowden would be my pick.
Right.
Now, if he's not, and it seems like, okay, how are you going to be in two places at once? Almost. Okay, let's say he's not going to be there. Let's say Cam's not there. This is a lot of ifs, but you gotta,
Yeah.
I would be really interested to see, and I don't think he's ready for it yet, but I'd be interested to see what Justice Floyd pulls out. I think the reality is that it would be, if none of them are there, it would probably be Christian. All right. I think he would probably, Christian Rivas, or is it? Yeah, I think that's how.
Rivas, yeah.
Christian, yeah.
Christian, yeah.
Rivas, yeah.
Rivas. And
he would, if both Avery and Cam are not there, I think he would be my pick to win the heavyweight overall. Now for the women, Katana Everett going back to Minnesota and wearing Paul Mitchell.
Because Dee's here.
Oh no, she's not. Oh, I don't know.
Dee's here.
I know Dee's not there. Dee's where you're at right now. I would think Katana's probably going to be at the Diamonds. All right.
Okay.
So it would be hard for me to not, look at that. I mean, Katana knows how to, ham up the crowd for her, and they will explode for her. But damn, Lily Rouillard.
Lily's fighting well. For
I think Lily Rouillard is the better fighter. I think Lily Rouillard's a better fighter, but Katana can find the better moment.
Yeah, she's she's a hard hitter.
Katana finds the moment, and she knows when she figured that out early on. All right, this is my moment, and I will show up for it. But I'm gonna go with the better fighter. I think I'm gonna go with Lily Rouillard. And I'm probably gonna be wrong because it's the Diamonds and it's Katana and she's wearing Paul Mitchell. It's probably the reality.
She's hometown, right?
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
What I'm really interested to see is how this Korean challenge plays out.
Well, are they doing it?
They're doing it as a it's just its own separate division. Like, here's your division, right? Not what we wanted.
They're doing it the same way as they do for traditional challenge, except that
one round.
It's just one round, but there's also no. It's just one round, and then there's no stage or anything like that. So
it's just another.
I don't think any of the top adult competitors are doing it. I know most of the juniors are, as they're trying to get ready for next year, as it'll be as the junior Korean division. So so I have a lot of my students doing that. That are doing that.
Are you doing the Korean challenge? Are you doing the Korean challenge?
I'm not doing the Korean challenge.
Why?
Because it's.
How come you're not doing it?
There's no reason. There's no reason to do
it. Hey, Toronto, you're doing it though, because we're doing it the real way.
Well, yeah, because it's done the right way, and there's a stage.
We're doing the rounds.
There's.
You see that?
The way that
all you gotta do is do it the right way.
Do it the right way, Toronto.
The greatest Korean competitor out there doing it. All right. But I am still excited to see what happens with that. I like to see good karate. This is funny. I was talking with my buddy, Joe Boone. I was talking with him, and we were watching karate clips and stuff like that. And it was horrible karate. And I'm like, I can't watch this. This is horrible. I can't. My eyes hurt. And he goes, really? I love watching this stuff. And I'm like, how? How do you like it? He goes, oh, I laugh at it all the time. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I love high-level martial arts so much that I'll watch great martial arts all the time. But if it's bad martial arts, I don't have time for this BS. I don't have time for you. Right?
I know it's not one of your top. I know it's not one of your topics, but what are your thoughts of karate not being included or kickboxing not being included for 2028?
So I have a little inside info on that, right? So because I talked to Rob like multiple times a week. Yeah, I talk to him multiple times a week. All right. And he always gives me updates. This is what's happening here. So I knew about how it was building up, and there was they made it pretty far. They made it to the final 5.
Yeah, they made it to the last time.
Right. They made it to the last cut, and the way he sounded really deflated about it. He really the way he presented it to me is he said we didn't have a shot, and he said we didn't have a shot because he said we just didn't have the kind of capital behind it. So
that makes sense.
the way he,
I believe that.
and it does make a little bit of sense. He says we just really need to get our act together, and he goes, if it was going to be in another European country, we actually might have had a better shot.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we need to get our act together as far as capital here, and then we could really get some legs here and take this thing off. So he says we got to do some real work here and get some money behind it. And I'm like, all right, well, he didn't say, oh, they screwed us, they did that. No, he owned it, and he gave true insight on it.
Here's the thing: a lot of people that gave their opinion on that are speaking on behalf of being a karate person. They want to see karate or kickboxing in there. You have to face the reality that just because we like it, okay, doesn't mean the world likes it. I remember when breakdancing got into the Olympics for 2024, people were like, "Oh, karate should be in there." Yeah, in our hearts, and yes. But if you're looking at the public, they'd rather watch breakdancing. Sorry, but that's the truth. Right?
Yeah. So, I think they didn't make it this time either.
No, they didn't. But they are in for 2024 though. They're in France. They will be there, and I think skateboarding too.
Yeah. Yep.
But they have major sponsors though. They've got money.
All right. So Alex, man, we got a big week ahead of us. I'm excited. I will see you Thursday. I guess we're going to a comedy show. And also
it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
Dude, I know this.
It looks like Alex and I are going 1-1 against each other as well for fantasy football this week. As both of our leagues we played each other. You beat me in the Inside Scoop League, and I beat you in the Point Fighting League, the Fight Club League. So, but I also just destroyed my
for this platform right now. I'm winning because that's what matters. Are you winning right now? Did you already win?
I won the other one pretty much. I mean, you have 1% chance in one of them, and I have 1% chance in the other, so it's not going to happen.
Oh no, I've already beat you. You can't win.
And I'm destroying Coach Cannell Lovelace in the other league that we have. So
Coach Coco.
Man, this is going to be a great time. Looking forward to seeing everyone. Yes, sir. Sam, looking forward to see you. Abeda, hope you will be there. If not, guys, make sure you are checking out all the live streams for Diamonds as well as WKU. I posted it on my page this week. They have a streaming.
I think it's a Smooth Camp or something like that. Yeah, there is a live stream going on over there. So,
yep. So it's gonna be fun, man. Good luck this week, Andrew. We're gonna miss your Diamonds. But,
I know. I'm crying.
Jeff, bring your laptop. Right, maybe we'll do an impromptu podcast while we're there.
Let's do it.
All right. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next week, guys.